Haunted Hill Farms Mausoleum Animatronic. This is the huge box that it came in. There's no images or anything on it. And I'm surprised they would even ship something this big out. Now we're gonna open it up and see what's inside. In here we have a ton of panels. I'm gonna pull a few out so we can see them. And they're all thin plastic layered ones. This one's really cool. It looks like these LED eyes are on there. There is a wire coming out of the back. This is what it looks like. There's cloth coming over it with some metal. Let's see what else is in this box. So the door's supposed to swing open. There's a skeleton in this bag with some more plastic. Those look like the pillars for the front. Some cardboard stuff. Another random pole that's just hanging out in the box. I think this wraps the entire metal frame we're gonna build. So this is the mausoleum, even though it's clothing. It's not clothing though. Cardboard. This is like the whole bunch of metal that's gonna consist of the frame that we're building. That also had the control box on it. A random hook that fell out. Another pole. There's a zip tie that is zip tied down, but it's not holding anything. I don't know if that fell off. More cardboard. We got some little booklets from them. Another hook right here. Now this is the door that opens up. It's not actually connected on, though it looks like there's hinges on this frame. The last couple things in here is like instructions and a snap lock tool they gave. This looks like a motor and some tie-down straps. There is also one last pull in here. It looks like the bag might have exploded because there's some random stuff like this snap lock removal tool. Here's an overview of all the parts. It's really cool how they put the number 13 on the top of the mausoleum. On the setup, I have everything kind of laid out for the first steps, starting with the support poles. These make it so the base doesn't tip over once we build it up, because it will be top heavy. And then we got the other side. These are both labeled A and then B for the back. This one has a pin that goes through it. This is the only pin in the box. Moving on to the side build pieces. This one's labeled D, and it's also snap locks. Goes in really easily. It's the same exact piece on the other side, just mirrored. This one's labeled C. Putting the door piece on. There is hinges on the outside, which I'll show in a second. And that just slides in, there's no snap locks or anything. So there's a hinge here and there, those face outwards, with this red one being on the inside. Connecting the door piece is this interesting looking thing. It's gonna slide in from the sides. And there's no snap locks, it just holds together. And it does chip the paint off a little bit when you get it on. That's how you know it's a tight fit. That side was a little bit easier. And then these are gonna connect in, but I think I did it backwards. There we go, easy fix. Next up is the top piece. It has a light on it and a hook for the skeleton. And the trick here is to get all four lined up before you start snap locking them in. And I got that side in. And this side too. The wire right here, make sure it's not on the outside, but it's actually on the inside going down. This is the back side of the door. There is this notch right here. Just ignore that. That is the stopper, so when it opens super far, it knows when to not go any further. You got these hinges, one there and one down here. They blend in pretty good. Those are gonna connect in, and the trick, just like the top part, is get them in at the same time. This is the motor module. I love how it's corresponded with the colors, red, blue, and yellow. Now before sliding these on, you wanna get this piece right here, slide it up, and then connect the rest of it in. It works better when the door's open. And the red one's the most tricky. There we go. We are still facing the back side, and I'm now gonna hang the skeleton The door needs to be shut for the next step, so I'm going to connect the wires that we have currently and then plug it into the wall for a second so the door will shut so I can put the rest of the fabric over top. This step requires 2 people. I mean, you could do it yourself if like it takes a while, but you want to line this side up perfect since this fabric is so tight. Also, the IR sensor's right here, and then there's some Velcro points, which we're going to find out what that does in a minute, but we still have more wires to connect. Now, I'm about to go off camera again and keep pulling this down, but you just got to go back and forth just like that until it reaches the ground. Here comes one of the coolest parts, is putting the top on. So there's these 3 poles, there, there, and there, and that has to line up perfectly. Also, this wire is going to go down this hole right here to connect. And that goes on. I'm going to feed the wire down through that fabric. For the pillars, there is 2 different types. There's one that has the Velcro on the outside, other on the inside. And right here you can see it's labeled bottom. So that's what's going to go over here. These 2 Velcro points are going to go there and there. And just push it against there as good as possible. And then the top piece has that Velcro right there. And it's pretty much the same thing. And those are going to connect right here. You might have to push that top part up, but that's how it connects. Doing the other side now, it is the same exact steps. Fix the Velcro on these. It does take a couple tries, and then that cord that I ran through here for the light and the skeleton eyes, that is connected up in there. There was no way to get a shot of that. Also, one more wire down here from the IR sensor. I'm plugging that in, and then we're gonna move to the back side. There is a little flap on the back of the fabric. You can plug the power adapter in here, and it's still plugged into my wall, but there's also volume control and different modes you can choose. So there's human only, off, which is a foot pad mode, and then an on, that's the foot pad jack, speaker jack, and if you want, you can use batteries. Now we're gonna get onto the demo. Overall, I think this prop is pretty cool. He will definitely fit great in a graveyard. I'm gonna be putting him out in mine this year. It is very lightweight, which is good for moving it around. And I do like that they have these supports here on the ground. They also gave a bunch of these connectors, tie-down straps, which I recommend using so it doesn't blow over since it is super light.